technology of it or the results that come of breathing deeply for a longer period of time, called euphoric breathing, unless you experience it, it's really difficult to express what you go through. But for me, I just received the clearest message ever, and it's all about vulnerability. It's all about the fact that, most of us avoid that. Most of us run from these emotions that feel vulnerable and dangerous to us. And it's understandable. We all created coping mechanisms from patterns and from traumas and from experiences as children that we needed in order to cope with life, in order to operate and function. And then not to mention all the limitations and all these systems, and then the cultural and social, economic, and all these different variables that contribute to the coping mechanism. But as we are older and we are free to create the life of our dreams, even if we have the finances, if our business is succeeding, yet internally we're like, why are we not feeling the freedom and the inspiration and the joy and the happiness that we were sold this would be? And I know for me personally, when I was in the space and time where my studios were succeeding to the max, and I was in this space where externally it looked like, well, gee, you should be feeling, the joy and happiness and fulfillment and inspiration. And it's taking me a long time to dissect that and explore that and really figure all of it out. And it's certainly taken a lot of vulnerability and my willingness, my courage to step into emotions that were not easy and are not easy. But when you do that work, when you actually make the decision to step into this space of exploring that and really digging deeper than you ever even thought you'd have to go in order to uncover these patterns that are limiting you from the joy and the inspiration and the source, soul, wholeness that you are, that's running through you, that's running through every tree, every piece of nature that you ever have laid your eyes on. There is an energy force that's running through that, just as it's running through you. We don't have to think of that. We don't have to be responsible for that kind of operating capacity, or our heart rate, our heartbeat, our autonomic nervous system. Our breath is actually the only function that we can consciously directly affect, that then affects every other area, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And all those four bodies are the bodies by which we operate on a daily basis. So if we're getting in tune in all of those areas, all of a sudden our life flows and we get inspiration and we attract all these things that most people are like, this is impossible. This is only they can do it because they're special or something. And it's really not. This is available to all of us. But the vulnerability and the courage to step forward and into those emotions that have kept us limiting is essential. We just can't override that. People do override their inspiration and emotional kind of attunement of their soul and spirit for the sake of money or for the sake of business or for the sake of safety. And it is understandable, especially when we're literally conditioned to do that. And then we arrive in this place where we're supposed to be safe and successful and feel joy and freedom and happiness, and we don't. So I am doing the work every single day. Being on this camera and sharing this is literal proof, because the amount of resistance and judgment I experienced in order to actually get to the place to do this is more than I even want to share in this one video. Me realizing these boundaries that I have with certain people that have been in my life. I deeply love and accept you just the way you are. I just know that I'm in this space where I'm evolving to somewhere that your reaction to what I say or what I do is not going to be received, because that's an old version of who I was, that I believed and that I behaved based upon. And now there's a new version. Now there's an expanded version. And really, we're all in this together. Of course, alone time and being internal and being individual in knowing what you have to do is absolutely a part of the equation. but then sharing it and then using it in a way that is helping other people. It doesn't have to be a lot of people or mass numbers. It could just be your child, it could just be your parent, it could be your co-workers, it could be anybody. But as we do the work and tune into our soul, as we really get vulnerable and just focus in a way that we are knowing that it's something bigger is working through us, is flowing through us, this oneness that we're all a part of, this nature, this source, this soul, then we do feel that fulfillment, we do feel that freedom, and we do get inspired to all these creative ideas and to collaborate with this person. And for me, things that I used to just think of and think, oh, I want to do that, or I wish I could do that. Now I'm going to do that. Like, I'm actually doing it, and I'm planning it, and I'm working. And it really has come from applying all the tools. I wish it would have just come from me envisioning and dreaming of this place in the future that I'm going to get to, that one day I'll feel and be this way and that way. But that isn't how things operate. But I believed, or almost thought, that I was doing the right thing by trying to feel those feelings, but you just can't trick your internal, your soul, yourself. Truth always rises, and so there's layers beyond just dreaming and envisioning. And there's certainly a time for that, and there's certainly benefits and value when you do that in a context that really supports your internal truth and the subconscious patterning that's running in the background. But I don't think that we can avoid being vulnerable. And I don't know that we can avoid feeling those feelings that as children we created coping mechanisms to protect ourselves from them. And most of us don't even know we're doing it. In fact, I continue to reveal, oh, this and that and this. And I believe there's like a point where you're like, okay, I've uncovered a lot of this stuff. It's all ultimately coming down to this same fear, this same pattern, same resistance, and I can truly release it out of my body. And then you run from this inspiration and from this like knowing of your greatness and of others' greatness, and you just uplift and you feel more and more and more joy and peace and love and harmony, and you inspire others too, and then they inspire others, and before you know it, there's this great awakening of people who are in it together to help each other get out of that limiting pattern, get out of those trauma responses, and into our soul, and into our creative expression, and into our love, and feeling true, deep, passionate love for ourselves, for each other. And that's what I truly hope for you. That's what I intend with every one of these videos. And I want to just wish you so much love and peace and harmony. I wish that you just tune deeper and deeper into your soul on a daily basis. I hope what I say today in every single post, there's something about it that resonates and that tunes you a little bit more into your soul. Sending you so much love, so much peace, so much harmony. And I will hope to see you next time, beautiful soul.